Welcome once again to the channel. Today we take a look at the new deck which is out for the Water Commander event. It's a new season as well, so we're going to take a look at the new season and we're going to just chat a bit about the end of last season. We're going to talk about the fire event that just finished, and we're going to speak a bit about the rewards that we got for that event. But let's jump right into today's deck, and we're going to start with the ultimate form, which is called Surging Seas. Now Surging Seas is a beast killer card, and this ultimate form will create 4 water power gem 6s, and it would also heal you for 5,000% of hero recovery on attack for the next 3 turns. So when you activate your battle skill, what will happen is as soon as you activate your battle skill, you will get 4 power gem 6s on the board. When you attack, after you attack, you will heal for 5,000% of hero recovery, and this will happen for 3 turns. So all of this happens on your first turn. When you activate your battle skill, you get your 4 power gems and a heal after you've attacked, and that will happen on the 2 following turns until your battle skill is ready to be activated again. You got a 3 turn cooldown, so as long as you activate your battle skill, every time it's ready to be activated, you will have power gems on the board continuously, and you'll heal for a bit every single time you attack. So that's not too bad. The first passive on this ultimate form, which is called Everflow, will create 6 water power gem 6s at the end of each turn. So it's at the end of the turn, not the beginning of the next turn. So you'll get these power gems when you attack. So when you attack, you'll see those power gems basically spawn at the end of the attack, which is quite good for the next passive that it's got, which increases water commander damage by 100% on turns where you start with 10 or more water power gems on the board. Now if you actually created the power gems at the start of the turn, you wouldn't benefit from this passive because you've already started your turn. So you would have to have these power gems on the board before you actually start the turn. So this is why these gems are created at the end of the turn and not the beginning of the next turn. Starting with power gems at the beginning of the turn, which are created at the end of the turn, is impacted by chaos. Because chaos normally happens at the end of every turn, where it destroys everything on the board. So this ultimate form is weak to chaos. So if you're going to use it in an event where you've got chaos, you need a card that dispels chaos. And from what we know with chaos, if you've got a card that is got chaos 6, which means 60% of the time it will actually dispel chaos. So you got 40% of the time where it won't dispel chaos. You need something with a high level of dispel to dispel chaos, or this deck will be of no effect basically. So it's a rather nice ultimate form, because as long as you've got the 10 or more power gems on the board, you'll benefit from that 100% damage boost every single turn. So it's not something that you have to activate your battle skill and then you get it on for 1 turn. It's every single turn as long as you meet the condition, which is 10 or more power gems on the board. Now if you create a full board of power gems and they crush, you'll only have 7 power gems on the board. So that too will cause this passive to actually not work. So you don't want to create too much power gems at the end of each turn. You probably just need to create about no more than say 14 power gems on the board, because when you start getting up to the 18, 19, anything above 15 power gems, you start crushing. And once you've crushed all the power gems on the board, trust me, you will not benefit from this battle skill, because you won't have 10 or more power gems on the board. You will only have 7 power gems on the board. So that is something that will impact this passive as well, the amount of power gems that's crushed. Let's look at the dispel. So this week we will have bosses that will be running Panic. Panic is not too bad. you've got panic and you've got fear. Fear is different from panic. Panic is where you have less time to make your match, which personally doesn't really bother me at all because I make my matches quite quickly. I think that's from the old days when you took a long time to basically connect all your gems together. Now we don't collect all the gems together, with swap the two biggest power gems and off we go. So that is not too much of a bother. You don't need to dispel that one. So that's okay. So we're gonna look at the Master Collection card, which I think is the best of the two. I think the Master Collection card is a better utility card than the Ultra Rare, because the Master Collection card is the one that gives you the boost. The more Master Collection card you have on your deck, it's the more boost you will have. However, you still need at least one Ultra Rare on the board alongside Ultimate Form. Once you've got these two in place, you can basically add 3 Master Collection card to get an extra 100 boost per card, which gives you 300 plus the Ultimate Form, which will give you 400 damage increase, which is quite significant. 400% damage increase for all 5 cards is quite significant, as long as you can create a lot of power gems on the board, which the deck in and of itself doesn't create a lot of power gems, as we can see from the battle skill of the Master Collection card. So Master Collection card only creates 4 water power gem 6s on attack for the next 3 turns. So this happens after on attack. So when you're attacking, that's when it creates the power gems. Okay, so it doesn't really create the power gems as soon as you activate the battle skill. It creates the power gems when you're attacking. This has got a 3 turn cooldown, so it happens over 3 turns. So over 3 turns, when you attack, you create those power gems during the attack. I've never really seen a battle skill like this before, or if I've even seen it before, I can't remember exactly how it looks when you activate the battle skill, then you attack. I think the power gems, once you swap your power gems on the board and your animation start, then you'll see those power gems being generated while the attack is going on. So you will have those power gems for the turn begin, so you'll have it for the next turn. So that's good as well. The passive is what makes it a bit more useful than the Ultra Rare. It increases water commander damage for 100% on turns where you start your turn with 10 or more power gems on the board. If you've got 3 of this, as I said, that's 300% extra damage, plus the Ultimate Form, that's 400% damage for your entire team. But as I said, there is not a lot of power gems being created by this deck. So your Ultimate Form actually creates 10 power gems. Your Master Collection card creates 4, so that's 14. And if you've got 2 extra Master Collection card on your combination, that will be an extra 8 power gems on the board. So that gives you 22 power gems. This one dispels poison. So poison, when you're hit with poison, it actually eats away at your HP. So that is a reason why you need a card that heal, and you get heal from the Ultimate Form and the Ultra Rare. So poison can become a problem if you haven't got heal on your deck. And if you heal every single turn, it's even better. So this one heals for 5000% of your recovery on attack for 3 turns. So this card, along with your Ultimate Form, will heal you 5000% each. So that stands up 10,000% heal happening every single turn when you attack. So that's not too bad. That will keep your deck's HP quite high. So that's good. Everflow, it will create 6 power gem 6s at the end of each turn. So with your Master Collection card creating 6 at the end of the turn and your Ultra Rare creating 6 at the end of a turn, that's 12. And if I am right about the power gems for your Master Collection card actually being created when during the attack, so there won't be a part of the gems that are actually used for the attack. They created after the attack or during the attack. I'm not really sure. Really like to see how the battle skill for the Master Collection card actually works. That's one of the things that I'm really interested in, to see how the battle skill of a Master Collection card actually works, because if it works in the way that I'm thinking, you will have more than 12 power gems on the board on the following turn, but at least you'll have 6 with your ultra rare and your ultimate form on the combination, so that's not too bad. That will enable you to benefit from the passive to increase the damage by 100%. The next debuff, so this one is not actually a debuff, this one is actually a buff. It's a buff for the boss. Counter. So counter, when you're hit with counter, every single card that attacks the boss will impact your deck. So your deck will take damage for every attack that you attack the boss. So every single card that attacks the boss, you will take a certain percentage of damage, which can actually kill your deck. So you will need to dispel that, or as I said, you've got heal, so you can heal your deck back up. Not really fully heal your deck, but you'll have a bit of HP. So we've got 3 cards this week, and the best of the 3 is this one. I stopped mentioning these cards a long time ago in my videos, but this week I think it's only fair to actually speak about this card. So this card, you can obtain it from the 6-star collection, which is really good. I really like to get this card from the 6-star collection. Didn't manage to get anything from this deck apart from the sport card. Would like to get the ultra rare. I think this is the ultra rare. Can't remember if it's ultra rare or master. Become immune to damage for 1 turn if hit by an enemy. Attack while immune. Heal for 50% of recovery per noble killer intensity. If attack while immune, become cheerful, gaining 20% damage reduction for 3 turns. It's got a 5-turn cooldown because it's an immunity card. Each time this hero attacks, it creates 2 power gem freeze plus 4 additional if cheerful is active, and increases noble killer intensity by 5. So it's not really a bad card. It's a nice card to have. I haven't got it in my collection. Really would like to get this one from the 6-star collection. Keep fingers crossed. Let's look at the support card. The support card for this week is not as good as the support card last week, which is really a shame. They've gone back to 10 water gems and heal for 5,000% of your recovery. 1 turn cooldown. Absolutely useless. Useless card. The one last week was far better, and I think they should have stuck with creating 8 gem, 3 power gems and 5 gems. I think that was a far better skill to have on a support card than this week's support cards skill, making this week's support card absolutely useless. Really surprised that they went back to just creating gems again. Thought we were making progress in the game, but obviously that's just a one-off where we got a really decent support card. This week, main hero creates 4 water power gem 4s. I was about to say 6, but creates 4 water power gem 4s on attack for 3 turns. So this battle skill does almost the same thing like your Master Collection card. It creates 3 power gem 4s on attack. 3 power gem 4s is 4 power gem, creates 4 water power gem 4s, which this week main era as well is not significantly good. I thought we'd be getting like main heroes that will create like 6 water power gems or 6 whatever affinity gems, the minimum of 6, which would make them far more useful. 6 or 8. The one last week that created 10 was really good. 8 would have been absolutely lovely. 6, I would accept 6, but 4 makes this card not really that useful. It would be just a collector's item, which was what most of what we collected in the last event were. Now let's talk a bit about the last event before I move on. So last event we got lots of gift bag. I collected ton loads of gift bag, which gave me a ton load of evolution coins, which coincidentally is non-transferable. What I mean by that is it doesn't go from one event to the other event. So for me to actually collect 250,000 evolution coins was absolutely pointless. I only have 3 support cards, which the evolution coins which I collected from the vault, which I don't think evolution coins should be in the vault, and the ones that I collected from the collection, the event collection, was enough to actually take my free support cards up to 6 stars. That was enough evolution coins for me. Not 250 evolution coins in gift bags. Now the gift bags only gave me support cards and main heroes. I think I actually got one ultra rare, which was a very old ultra rare, which was absolutely useless. Personally, I would have rather to collect say 1,000 wardens or even 200 wardens. I'd been far more happier to collect generation 1 wardens, which only had probably 300 HP on it. The older wardens, I wouldn't mind collecting a ton load of those. Even if I collected 5,000 wardens, I would have been much happier with 5,000 wardens than evolution coins. So that wasn't really what I expected from the event. The event in and of itself was okay, but the gifts were below par. I would rate the gifts in the event. They wouldn't even register at 0. They'll be 0.00001 if I was gonna rate the gifts that we got in the last event. Pretty poor, pretty disappointing. So let's get back to this week's event deck. So the event deck, would I say it is quite useful going forward? The ultimate form, I would say the ultimate form, it's got its uses going forward. The Master Collection card as well has got its use going forward when it comes to Commander event. In a Slayer event, they won't be that useful simply because the damage boost is only for Commander deck. But if we just forget about everything else, forget about GVG, forget about Slayer, and just concentrate on Commander event, Water Commander event, going forward, I would say 1 Master Collection card and 1 Ultimate Form going forward would be quite beneficial, because combining the two will give you 200% damage to all water commanders going forward. So those would be good cards to add to Water Commander deck going forward. At least you've got 200% boost, and that's the usefulness of these 2 cards. When it comes to generating power gems, the Ultimate Form does create 10 water power gems, but is it really that useful as, say, Lost Kingdom Guardians? No, it's not as useful as Lost Kingdom Guardians. I think Lost Kingdom Guardians is a bit more useful. But taking nothing away from this Ultimate Form, I think it's something that would be worthy of having in your collection. So if you were lucky to get the Ultimate Form, congratulations to you. If you're lucky to get the Master Collection card, I would say congratulations as well, because having a Master Collection card is quite useful. So for those of us who haven't got and didn't get anything from the event, what can we do? So let me take a look at what I've come up with. So I have got a 2 Beast Killer Ultimate Form. I've got this one, Fabled Sojourners, and this was the Beast Killer Ultimate Form from last year. Now this one will create 3 water power gem freeze plus 1 per 200 Beast Killer intensity. Then it counts the number of water power gems on the board, and at the start of the next turn, Dorothy will click her heels together and spawn twice the number of power gem 2s. So it will create a full board of power gem 2s depending on how much power gems is actually on the board. But I think there is an algorithm added to this one because this card actually came out before Gem Crush. So before Gem Crush, you could actually fill the board with power gems. It wouldn't crush, it would count the power gems on the board, and it would create the same amount of power gems the next turn. But Gem Crush actually caused this card battle skill problems, where if you crush all the gems into one row, then it can't count all the gems that you crushed. So I think they've added something to this card's battle skill, where as long as you got a certain amount of power gems on the board when you activate the battle skill, the turn after it will just create a full board of power gems. The next thing that it's got is whenever this hero attacks, it increases the total damage dealt by Beast Killer hero by 50% and decrease all damage taken by 10% for the following turn. Now 50% is half of the amount of damage increase that you've got for the current Beast Killer deck. But the difference between the current Beast Killer deck and this deck is that the boost is for all water commander card, whereas this one is only for Beast Killer. But this one will be a nice addition to the current deck, which will give you extra power gems on the board, and it will give you extra boost. So the current deck will benefit from having this ultimate form, and this ultimate form would benefit from having the current ultimate form as well. So this is something that you could use to get a killer skill and get some power gems on the board. The next one that I thought of was Ellen of Troy. Now Ellen of Troy will increase water commander damage by 120% for 4 turns. Now if you combine the current deck with, say, this card, its ultimate form, and say one of the Master Collection card and the ultimate form for the current event deck and Dorothy as well, it could work. You could have a deck that's got all boosts, because you're getting 120% from that ultra rare. You're getting 50% damage from this one, so that's 50, 120, that's 170, and the ultimate form for that card as well, which is Trojan Lovers, will increase water commander's damage by 120% for 4 turns. Reveal a weakness in the target for 3 turns. All standard attack against the exposed weakness will create 3 water power gem 6s. This has got a 5-turn cooldown, however, but it's a commander event, so that doesn't matter. So there is a 120% damage increase as well. So if you got the ultra rare, the Master Collection card, the ultra rare, and the ultimate form for Trojan Lovers, you've already got 240% damage increase for all water commander heroes. Now the current ultimate form is only 100, but the Master Collection card is also got 100. So with these 2 cards that I just showed you, with the ultimate form for the current event and the Master Collection card, you've already got 440% damage increase. Now you can either use this card if you've got it, or you can opt to use the ultra rare for the current current deck and just settle for your 440% damage increase, which is quite nice. If you add this one, you'll get 490. But so far, I've got 50 coming from this one, 120 coming from that one, and I've got 120 coming from this one. So I've actually got 290% damage increase already for this combination, which is quite good. I've got Uprising Coven, and Uprising Coven will increase self damage for 200%. So this card will actually deal a bit more damage than all the other cards, because it will benefit from the 240% damage increase coming from my Trojan Lovers and what's that one called again? Not this one, that one, Helen of Troy. So Helen of Troy and Trojan Lovers will give this card an extra 240% damage increase, plus its self damage increase of 200% gives it 440% damage increase, which will make it deal far more damage than all the other cards on the combination. It also creates 6 water power gem 5s for, and it will attack for 500% of recovery and heal the same amount heal for the same amount as well. It will also cleanse one enemy debuff from each water commander on your team and dispel one enemy buff. So this card is really useful to have on the combination because it dispels buff and it dispels debuff. It's got a 3-turn cooldown, so it's a really nice card. Apart from creating its 6 water power gem 5s, it also creates 4 water power gem 4s whenever this hero attacks. So you create 10 water power gem 5s using this card. This one dispels traitor, but with its battle skill it dispels everything else, which is quite nice. I'm not too worried about dispelling counter, and I'm not too bothered about dispelling poison. So those are the two that I'm actually worried about, poison and counter. So that one takes care of all of that. This one dispels chaos. So this is something that if you're in an event, a commander event where you're using the current ultimate form, you will want to add Trojan Lovers to that deck to actually dispel chaos, because chaos will impact the current ultimate form. So this is something, if you've got it, it's something to celebrate, because those two cards will work hand in hand. This one will dispel one of the debuff that will actually impact the current ultimate form, which is chaos. Power Gem Silence will affect it as well, and Gem Silence, but those are not too bad. But I know that chaos is chaotic at best. The next one is Sumerian Pantheon, and this one is an Immortal Killer card, and you can create 6 water power gem 5s. It's got a 3-turn cooldown. It's got 2 passive. If 15 or more water power gems are on the board, it creates an extra 4 water power gem 4s. It's got a 1-turn cooldown. When hit, it creates 1 water power gem 5 plus 1 more per 100 Immortal Killer intensity, and this one has got a 1-turn cooldown. So this one, if you can generate enough Immortal Killer intensity, you can actually eventually fill the board with power gems, but we're not gonna focus too much on that. It's not a Immortal Killer event, it's a Beast Killer event, so we will be running primarily Beast Killer relics, so we won't be generating a lot of Immortal Killer intensity. Those are 5 quite useful cards. You can add these 5 cards to other cards where you can actually create a pretty decent deck. I'm thinking that you could use Sumerian Pantheon along with Trojan Lovers and Uprising Coven. You could add another Immortal Water Commander Immortal Killer card to the mix, along with High Performance Unit area, and then focus your damage output mainly on your Immortal Killer cards. That's one way you could think of it. Not too sure. I think you could go the way of actually focusing most of your attack power coming from, say, Noble Killers as well, because you can use Supreme Santa as your booster card. So you could go the way of Noble Killer. So you could use Phantom Unseen and Combat Ready Crew as your main damage dealers, and then you could add Supreme Santa as your booster card if you've got Supreme Santa, because not everybody has got Supreme Santa. This is one card that you could use as well to actually boost your deck, or you could actually use Arcane Killer. So you could go the way of Arcane Killer as well. So you could go Water Arcane Killer, and you could use, if you've got Frozen Devastation like myself, it's at Frozen Devastation is at 6 pink star, so you could use Frozen Devastation as one of your main damage dealer, or you could forget about Frozen Devastation because it is a Slayer card. So forget about Frozen Devastation. Let's concentrate on, say, Commander Arcane. So Uprising Coven is a nice one that you could add to the current combination. You could use 2 cards from say that deck, or if you've got pirate plunderers, you could use pirate plunderers. But the thing is, you do still need the killer skill. So forget pirate plunderers. You could use Uprising Coven as your main damage dealer. Lost Kingdom Guardian along with Watcher of the Wave as the two cards that are gonna give you your turn delay and create your power gems on the board. Then you add the jailers, and then you get your killer skill from Fable Sojourners, or you've got an older Beast Killer ultimate form. So these are the older Beast Killer ultimate form. Let's go to Commander. Yep. So you've got Fable Sojourners, and then you've got this one, which is Beast Breakers. So Beast Breakers is the old, really old ultimate form, but it will give you the killer skill. This one is at 1 pink star, so you only get 400% damage increase, but every little helps. If you got, it's better to have 400% damage increase than no damage increase at all. So this one is not too bad. It creates 5 water power gem 4s and increase water commander attack by up to 40%. It starts at 10% and increase by every 100 skill points. If there are 5 or more stacks of power up active, it creates power gems and increases attack for the next turn as well. 6 turn cooldown, and it does create an ultimate gem, which is pretty useless. Not really. It was very useful when it just came out, but they're not really that good. So I'm gonna run with this one. I think this is the combination that I'm gonna start out with. It does create quite a number of power gems passively as well, so that's quite nice. So it can be used for the wave fights. So that is one possible combination, which is not a current deck. So that's your non-event deck. So that's all I've really got for you, apart from taking a look at the current season. So the current season is actually called Fallen Pharaoh season, and let's view the season itself. So last season I actually managed to finish 738. I was trailing at the start of the final event by actually 100 and something to actually finish with it in the top 1000. So these are your rewards for this season. Almari is not too bad. It's nice to always have an extra copy of Legends. This one is not too bad as well. That's for last year's Easter deck, the Master Collection card for last year's Easter deck. It's always nice to have extra Enchanted Maul. It's always nice to get a 1 pink star Warden. Wardens are really good. I really like Wardens. They really help out a lot. And the Lance, Endless Lance, it's always good to collect the ultimate relics as well. The legend relics for GVG. They're always good. The more you collect, it's the better for you. So that is your season gifts. And that is it for today's video. So if the information has been helpful, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already done so, hit the notification bell as well. If you've got a question, leave it in the comment section below. If you've got a comment, please do leave it in the comment section below. And if you've got a suggestion, all suggestions are welcome. Please leave it in the comment section below. You may have seen my upload early this morning with MU Origin. That is it's just a series that I'm going to be doing from now until probably the end of the next 4 to 5 months. Depends on how long it takes me to actually complete the series on how to play. It's a really in-depth game, so it will take quite some time to actually go through all the stuff within the game. Don't know everything there is to know about the game, but I will give all the information that I actually know. I will be showcasing other games as well. Every Tuesday will be gaming review. So showcase some of the games that I've been playing in the background, and I'll give you whatever information I have about those games. I'll just give my review on the game itself. So this is Octane saying like, subscribe, and thank you for watching the videos. Bye for now.